The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another excellent edition of the Power Trading Hour. And as always, doesn't matter where you're at, as long as you're here at this time, because you can listen to me anywhere.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
So what do we have going on today? Well, there is some carnage in the market. Apple's about $1 off of what I thought it would close at today, 149.99. I had a couple people give me some emails. Let's go check that here. Okay. And we'll answer those questions. There are a few here, actually. So we'll get through those, mostly centered around Apple and my call on 4,600 for today's expiration from yesterday in the newsletter. Anyway, got a few things going on. Wanted to check the volume. I've been kind of working my way out of a pit all morning because of internet problems. So actually getting back in the scheme of things here. Doing about 6.6 billion shares. So that's compared to about 7.3 yesterday, I think, when we started the show. So a little lighter Friday. Of course, into the month, I'm starting to, as I said in my newsletter this morning, we're after they pushed it down enough this morning, it's going to start being the markup period for fund buying next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. If we're going to have probably a pullback in the market, probably not going to be until late Wednesday or Thursday next week. So do you have a lot of upside? Not particularly. There were some fairly good trades out here that a few people decided to go on kind of my general inclination about what was going to happen. So we'll read a couple of those emails. But that's kind of it. We've got a market where it's probably not a lot of downside. Got the Fed really pushing. Had a good test of the TLT this morning. Do I have that up here? See if we can get that up real quick. That 146.50 area is kind of where I've been looking at saying that is where support needs to stay. You gapped over it. You're pulling back today on 8.6 million shares compared to the gap up on 22 million shares. So I think we've got a couple of things. A couple is that there isn't a lot of belief that any of the ridiculous taxing plans that have been bandied about by the squad are going to come anywhere close to fruition. And that's part of it. And the bond vigilantes kind of backing off a little bit. Fed probably also kind of interesting to see the Fed really on Thursday not put as much on the plate as they have in the past. They may be really getting ready to start talking about some kind of pullback of accommodations. And why I don't think that means that they're going to abandon bonds. They are probably not going to push them as hard and get them back up to 155 or so. I thought maybe we get to 151, but the last couple of days and looking what's happened in that bond market does not make me think that the Fed's going to do anything to get them even higher, but it is going to probably draw a line right around in the 146.50 area. What was the low here today? 146.32, and start coming to the aid of the country. I feel like I'm typing again. All good men come to the aid of their country. Anyway, that 142.50-ish is kind of where support is, where we found it this morning. I don't think that's a great deal. Of course, the dollar had a huge move for a day. We need probably, for the market to really settle out, we probably need to get some kind of clarity on where the dollar is going instead of these wild swings. Of course, that whacked on the gold market today. And let's see, what do we have right now? Gold closed down almost $20 at 1782.90. So what do we have here? Well, we're set up for fund buying. There's probably not that much to the upside. For me, it's all about people that are shorting stocks, even stocks that are kind of lower on earnings, like AMD. Just at support today, but not a lot of volume. But the most hated stock in the market yet another day. For some reason, people like to short the living daylight out of this. And we'll see. Got a lot, like I said, a lot of emails here. We'll try to get through all of them here fairly soon. Let's do a little bit of history, and we'll be all ready for the other side. To answer questions, which we have a bunch of, start looking at some emails and reading viewer mail. But we'll move along here.
That it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
And what do we have? It is, if I can get back to it, 1969, UCLA student Charlie Klein attempts to transmit the text login to a computer at the Stanford Research Institute over the first link on the ARPANET, which was the precursor to the modern internet. After the letters I and O are sent, the system crashed, making the first message ever sent on the internet low. About an hour later, after recovering from the crash, the full text of login is successfully sent. The reason I wanted to bring this up today is so many people thinking technology moves fairly fast. And we think it does, but generally the genesis of these things takes a very long time. And, you know, first transistor in 1926 or 7, before it started being mass marketed, 1954 or 5. Internet actually a thing where you could go and type on it in 1980. Took to 1995 to really get going in the broad spectrum. Most people use services like AOL and CompuServe. I was a big CompuServe guy at the time. And what else do we have? That's kind of it. It is one of those things where we think about it, and it all seems like it happened overnight. Kind of like a lot of those people that are movie stars at 30. Success overnight. Only took them 12 years to get there. Most people just don't fall off the wagon, instantly become a big star. Most technologies take a long time before they turn. And when Facebook says this is going to be a thing that happens overnight, it makes me go, huh. We'll be back in a minute.
Are you grinding in the market, but seeing little to no return? Or are you a successful trader, simply looking to make your job a little easier? Learn to take the path of least resistance with David White's powerful trading newsletter. David White is an accomplished trader whose deep understanding of technology and the markets allows him to consistently find and share winning trades. Support and resistance define the ranges in which stocks trade. By understanding these trading ranges, David White is able to find the path of least resistance. David White's trading newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, is delivered daily before the markets open to make every trading day an easy win. Visit TFNN.com today and subscribe to David White's Ultimate Trading Newsletter for $119 a month. And try all of our newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Take the path of least resistance at TFNN, educating investors.
What's separating you from the most successful men and women on Wall Street? That's right, information. Having all the information gives us the perspective we need to place the right trades at the right time. The TAS Profile Scanner is the premier market profile-based scanner. Powered by its acclaimed TAS proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner instantly filters over 2,500 plus global financial markets, such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. This powerful suite of tools leverages instant trade filtering and strategy formulation to show you emerging trades before they happen. For a limited time, you can save $100 off your first month by using the promo code UPGRADE, and you still get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Level the playing field with the TAS Profile Scanner, which you can find under the Services tab at TFNN.com. Sign up today.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
And we are back. Wanted to get to this before I forget about it. Intel may have released its first enthusiast processor or workstation processor that actually makes a damn in 4 years. AMD pretty much got the mantle, and every time Intel had an idea to leapfrog them, decided to fumble the ball repeatedly for a variety of reasons. But you may start hearing a lot about this on the financial infotainment cable stations coming Monday. On the 4th, what day is that? Actually, next Thursday. Okay, on the 4th, the embargoes are over for testing, and the chips go live. But Intel is making some rather bold claims, and we'll see. Probably the most interesting thing is that they have the next iteration of DDR memory for a PC in it, which instantly is going to be more than twice as fast as standard memory today in motherboards for workstations and everything. The next iteration of DDR memory. So I continue to watch Micron close to see whether they have. It's going to be fairly expensive memory to begin with. Intel also has licensed its Thunderbolt technology to AMD, so that may get going too. So a lot of things that Intel has done wrong, they may, not saying they have, but they've done a big PR bounce with the influencers on YouTube and the rest of tech. So everybody's got one. They're just embargoed from publishing any data or showing the chip literally in a motherboard. They can wave them around today. But can't do much. Anyway, they get a lot of time over the next 4 or 5 days to test them, and then we shall see a lot of motherboards out for this thing too. We'll see just how much impact a memory. I've got 4,500 megahertz or gigahertz memory in my machine, which is like the most expensive you can buy. Even then, it only runs at 3.8 gigahertz. But the standard memory is going to be 6 gigahertz. And that's going to be kind of like the lowest, I think 5.8. It's going to be the lowest that this new DDR memory works. Since memory is one of the slowest things in a PC, doubling of it should make everything really kind of toot sweet fast, much more efficient processors. And of course, they've taken a page off of AMD in its design. And maybe why AMD's just a little weak here. People thinking maybe Intel actually going to get off their ass and do something. But we shall see. Questions about Apple. What else do we have? Remember you saying Apple had a team of evangelists. They would call them influencers today. But back in the 80s, when they were releasing the Mac, they did a lot of propaganda work, and back then they called them evangelists. Today we call them the kid's son that won't leave the basement, that's always in their pajamas. But back then on the bulletin boards and everything else, anybody would ever say anything bad about Apple, there would be a team of these pimple-faced young men in the basement. And, of course, this was some of the research that came from the way that the Nazis did it. They don't like to talk about it at Apple, but they did research how propaganda actually works. And they didn't go out and try to kill somebody with it, but they did try to edge or color or push the narrative any way they could for the benefit of their product. I think everybody assumes that. They were just much better at it than anybody else. Anyway, evangelists tended to be a bunch of snotty-nosed young men that couldn't get a date. And guess what? The trick to getting these guys to spend their life evangelizing for you was making them feel special, getting them units early, making sure that one of the top heads of Apple talked to them directly from time to time. They did everything to make these guys that were on the outs of society feel really good about themselves. Now, it's kind of changed. The bulletin boards are gone. It's YouTube. A lot of these guys, the same kind of kissing ass goes a long way today for companies, like we said, on Intel, out pushing their flesh. If you watch YouTube, you'll see the boxes this stuff came in. They look like you just bought a $5,000, well, how about a $50,000 ring from Tiffany's? These things are, the out-of-box experience is probably nothing like you're going to get at home. But these guys have been courted well. So when you're looking at that, an evangelist, I kind of put that in this week in the idea that the evangelists would be the guys out here today telling everybody that even though Apple missed by $5 billion in revenue, that it's okay. You could almost call them apologists. But that's it. Now, for me, I didn't think Apple was going to do that bad today, mostly because the apologists would be out there doing their apology tour. Apple has a very good track record of getting those guys that hold a lot of shares out there. They'll tell them stuff like, you know what, if it gets bad, we will buy shares back. We got a lot of money. Two, they were out last night after the numbers hit saying that why we were down $5 billion in revenue, mostly because supply disruptions. We're going to make it all back in the next quarter, which is very possible. They've done a lot. But the whole idea that you were going to get this big ship to sink instantly, even the Titanic took 2.5 hours. It's not that easy. These ships don't turn on a dime. So we'll see that. Two, most of these guys that work on Wall Street are not dumb. Turning tail and Ryan only means everybody loses. If they have a good retreat, they'll make the stock look good and slowly sell before the rubes out there, and that is the home traders, get a whiff that Apple is decided to go the opposite way of the, like the dodo. But I don't think that's going to happen either. But, we look at propaganda from a variety of places. Sometimes we say traders are talking their books. They're always doing that on CNBC. And even if you had a bunch of Apple, are you going to yell fire in a crowded theater? Or are you going to tell everybody it's great while you're selling out the back door? We all know the answer to that. So evangelism, whether it is influencers or the Wall Street shills on CNBC or the YouTube guys get reported. There's a lot of people pushing the narrative market. We'll be back in a minute.
Are you having fun trading the markets but having trouble finding like-minded individuals to discuss your trading and investment ideas with? Become an apex predator in the trading markets and join the Tiger's Den Trading Room only at TFNN.com. The Tiger's Den is an exclusive trading room where successful traders from around the world come to exchange trades and ideas. Join the den and surround yourself with the sharpest minds in the trading world. Subscribers to the Tiger's Den are also the first to have their questions answered live on air and can privately chat with our TFNN hosts live during their shows. Interact with other Tigers and Tigresses as they share trading ideas, news analysis, and discuss the market action all trading day. Subscribe to the Tiger's Den risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee and become part of the TFNN trading community. TFNN, educating investors.
You could be making money off the stock market. And if you're already making money off the stock market, you could be making a lot more. Check out TFNN and Tiger TV and get expert investing advice to give you the power to control your financial future. Go to TFNN.com and find the newsletter for you. Whether you're into trading gold, metals, futures, currencies, or options, you'll get advice and analysis to help you seriously get ahead. TFNN also features trading services with a 30-day money-back guarantee for new subscribers, as well as TFNN's Tiger Den Trading Room, trading software, and educational webinars for all trading levels. And make sure you check out Tiger TV for free on TFNN.com or TFNN's YouTube channel for live financial content from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern on market days. Stop watching on the sidelines while other people get rich and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Thinkorswim. For more information, just click the Thinkorswim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And we're back. Looks like Sam says, Dave, I listened to your show yesterday, and you said no matter what, even if they slammed it down, they'd get it back up around 150. Bought the 148 calls this morning and almost tripled my money. Thanks a lot. He didn't say what he bought it and sold it for here, but probably pretty good. Have nobody else saying, well, pretty good call out here to 4,600 today. And we're pulling back a little bit. 45.90. Again, kind of the end of the month. We're really going to get fun buying probably going in earnest. This is kind of the markup phase. Probably see that mid-afternoon. I'm going to say Monday, maybe 2 o'clock, something like that, where we'll see a lot more. A couple of questions more in the den out here. Gene editing got going in 2013, 2014 with two scientists, one from UC Berkeley, the other one was from Harvard. When does this get big time? Whenever they figure out how to target it. I think it works fairly well already. It's just how you get it to the right cells and not the wrong cells. And that's mostly what that is about today. And two, that was CRISPR 9 or CRISPR 13. They've got 4 other versions of that technology now. Think of it as the cut and paste word processor for genes on a molecular level. There's even better versions of that stuff out now. And that's it. They keep on trying to get what they have working, and then they find something that works even better. But it's hard to say when they get past those things, but they've already have some good moves out there with and success with macular degeneration, and it looks like they've gotten a little bit farther with CRISPR with I think sickle cell anemia. There's a couple other ones out there. They're just not ready for prime time yet. But you know what? Most drugs that make it to the market take about 10 years from when they start to when they stop. So if you had something in 2015, it comes to market about 2025-ish. So that's it. RNA has it, but RNA doesn't change anything. You still got the same problem. The promise of CRISPR is it does solve the problem. And we've seen that with, hepatitis C, where they actually have a drug that solves the problem and is 1/3 as cheap over 15 years. A lot of people don't like paying up in front for a one-time cure. But would you rather be cured, or would you rather have the disease that you keep on taking something for a number of years and kind of comes back and wanes, or it's just over? So I think long-term CRISPR is going to supplant RNA. And everybody has kind of a problem figuring out what the difference between DNA and RNA is. But it's kind of this. RNA is kind of like blueprints, and DNA is kind of like the house. You can change the blueprints. Someone can go back and change them again. Doesn't mean they're permanent. Once you get to buy the house, maybe you can change some stuff in it, but it's pretty permanent. There's kind of a concrete example. The blueprints are an idea of the house, and that's what you get. You kind of take blueprints with RNA, but I think the last I saw, RNA goes away in 24 hours. So it's always going to be something. And there's something to be said to have a drug that you have to always continually pay. No. But that's it. There's going to be stuff everywhere. Anyway, just figuring that Apple will kind of try to drive itself up to 150 by the close, and no real big surprise there. Didn't ever think it was going to do anything. I mean, you're up $3 yesterday, you're down $3 now. Is that really a big deal? Okay, other questions out here. Did we see that? We got the gene ones. We got that. Okay. NVIDIA. Can we get an oddball take? NVDA. As I said, this is one of the few pure plays in the market. It's only on GPU, and they can sell 4 times what they can make today. As long as they can make enough and make more tomorrow, it's hard to say anything bad about NVIDIA. along with the other stuff. So, nope. Why don't you say something righteous for a change? NVIDIA? No negative waves on it. Thanks, Hector. Okay, we got that. The Global Foundries IPO, GFS. Man, this is one of the longest IPOs in history. I want to say that they went back public in 2005, but they are a competitor to Taiwan Semiconductor. They've always impressed me as being 5 years behind the curve, and I don't think that they've done any better. Global Foundries could help out a lot of the people that are making less expensive semis, but you're either going to two people, well, maybe even three. First, you go to Taiwan Semiconductor because they're the easiest if you've got some high-end chip. Let's say something that costs more than $100 to make and sells for like $500 like a processor. The other thing is you can go to Samsung, which is almost as good as Taiwan Semiconductor. Certainly has the ability to crank out products left and right. A little better because it's a little safer. You don't have to worry about China invading it. Global Foundries, a lot of their stuff's in Taiwan, so you got to worry about them both being invaded by the Chinese and being pushed around by the Chinese also. I'm going to have to see a little bit more about how things go forward in the future. But everything I've heard has been that the Chi-Coms, those are the Chinese communists, also leaders of the army, who have a finger in every pie in China, has a problem. So that's kind of it. You know what? Not a bad thing out here, but I'm going to say that they're behind, about like Intel is behind Taiwan Semi and Samsung. It's going to take a lot of catching up to do to get them up there, but can they make money? Yes. We'll be back in a minute.
Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today.
The technology around us is changing every day. With so much happening, it can seem impossible to keep up with all the information. David White's investment newsletter, The Technology Insider, is designed to give you all the information you need to understand the technology that shapes today's markets and tomorrow's future. David White has made his living staying on the cutting edge of technology. His weekly newsletter will give you specific recommendations for value tech stocks, as well as entry prices, target prices, and stops to set for each trade. Dave delivers his weekly newsletters every Friday with updates throughout the week. You can get the Technology Insider at TFNN.com for only $37.50. Sign up for David's newsletter, The Technology Insider, and get an inside look at everything the technology sector has to offer. Try it risk-free today with our 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
And we're back. Pete says, last year, Bombardier, because I used to go up to where they used to be made up there in Canada, stopped building Evinrude outboard motors after 100 years and began focusing on developing some type of new electric motor combined with a boat. Do you think most outboard motors will be all electric in the future? They can. All the big ships are already electric. You know, they all generate power and maybe steam to turn a turbine, which makes electricity, which turns the motor. So none of them really hooked up directly to some diesel engine. So, you know, we've been on electric power for a long time. It's not that. It's where the energy comes from that is the long-term question. The big problem is, especially in boats, putting a lot of batteries in them, especially lithium-ion batteries, which don't do well anywhere close to water. Just don't cross the streams and Ghostbusters, and don't put lithium-ion batteries in water. You can't even put them out in water, which is one of the problems on a boat or a plane when you can't get off. At least you can get into the drink. On a boat, on a plane, much tougher. I have seen that probably the first big step in new power plants for boats and planes has been a design on a new motor that actually helps scavenge oxygen out of the air for fuel cells. There's a fairly good design in a company that's gotten $500 million in seed money to help make these new electric motors that are kind of like turbofans in that they push a lot of air through and into the fuel cells. And they look like they could have the kind of range that current Jet A and gasoline and jet aviation fuel could have in a plane. We're supposed to be seeing the first ones out maybe this year, year after. So that'll be very interesting. It's harder to do the same thing, which is scavenge a lot of the oxygen out for the hydrogen that you have to carry. For boats, I would still say fuel cells probably a much better plan. In fact, most of the submarines in the Nordic countries that just want to sit out there anywhere from 10 to 50 miles and watch for the Ruskies to come through and sink their battleships and carriers and everything else they have are all already fuel cell powered with hydrogen and oxygen. They actually just fill up the sub with both. They don't have to go that far. Bill Gates' new 300 or 400 foot big boat is going to be fuel cell hydrogen powered also. So there's a lot of people working on that, but they're on bigger boats. Smallers are not there. The reason Bombardier probably quit building Evinrude engines is nobody wanted them. Everybody wants Yamahas and Mercs down here in Florida. The big trend in boating down here is a thing called center consoles. Over the last couple of years, it's really taken off. These are boats with 3 or 4 400 horsepower engines on them, anywhere from 35 to 60 feet. And people really, especially in Miami, somewhat around here in Tampa and other places, down in the Keys, want to race out, get their fish and race back in before the weather goes to hell. But it's kind of gone into, especially during the pandemic, everybody taking these boats out to islands where the people can't chase them around and tell them to wear masks and have parties. So that whole the big growth in boats down, at least in most of the country right now, is those center consoles, and they want Mercs, they want Yamahas, they don't want a lot other stuff. Certainly not Evinrudes. Those guys quit really keeping up a long time ago. Kind of just like a lot of companies out there that don't keep up. Anyway, the boating deplorables. Well, that's why you saw that giant parade last year. 10,000 boats. But yeah, I guess it's something with boats. People like to have fun. They like to drink in boats. Okay, so that answers most of those questions. Got a couple more about looking at earnings out here. First one is Western Digital, WDC. A big swing and a miss. We've talked about how long it's been, and even Sears, took 10 years to go out of business. That we've done that. You've broken through, man. You're trying to get back up to it, but you've broken through support at $54. We've talked about how eventually spinning drives are going to go away, and very surprisingly, a big miss in when you need more and more and more. They bought the old Toshiba plant for building memory. Still not enough for these companies. It's just too easy for the companies that actually make memory, like Micron and the Kingston and a lot of these other companies, just to make drives. And there's not a lot of magic in them. There's a lot of magic in making spinning drives. The problem is it's a commodity, whether it's Seagate or Western Digital. Let's see what STX is doing today on this. Not as bad, but we shall see. Yeah. Eventually, both of these companies are going south for the winter and never coming back. The question is, when do they make the last buggy whip? And just because they're in SSDs doesn't really make it that profitable for them. They're not in the business of making memory, and there isn't too much to making SSDs other than making a lot of memory chips, which is 90% of the cost, and 10% a controller chip. So I don't see a lot going forward for these guys. Hi there. Would appreciate your opinion on longer-term investment between Micron and Intel. Is the one you prefer over the other? Would be worth investing in both. Have a great time. Brent. I would always be on Micron's side. The reason is much lower risk. It's like saying in the Second World War in Germany, do you want to be a ball bearing manufacturer? Those are the ones they wanted to bomb first, and because nothing's going anywhere without ball bearings. Memory, Micron, Intel, really both big memory manufacturers. But I'd be on Micron's side. It just really hadn't turned yet. I'm looking at to get over 70, say that the sell-off is over. We really haven't gotten that. We got a little bounce, but back lower today. We'll be back in a
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Are you looking for a secured investment which pays you on a monthly basis? The Tiger First Mortgage Program may be the program for you. The best rate on a 5-year CD in the country right now, according to Bankrate.com, is paying 1% per year or $1,000 per $100,000 invested. The Tiger First Mortgage Program pays 7% per year, paid monthly, on secured, high-value buildable properties in St. Petersburg, Florida. The investment is for 4 years, paying 7% per year or $7,000 per $100,000 invested. Your investment is secured by high-value real estate in St. Petersburg, Florida. Your investment can be anywhere from $100,000 to $500,000. Do you want to make $1,000 per year on $100,000 invested or $7,000 per year on a secured Tiger First mortgage? The Tiger First Mortgage Program may be just the program for you. The Tiger First Mortgage Program pays 7% per year, paid monthly. For more information, you can call 877-518-9190. That's 877-518-9190.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And we're about flat on the S&P. We're going to go to Scott in Denver. How you doing, Scott? 2 minutes.
Well, I'm doing great. How are you, Dave?
Good. We got 2 minutes.
Okay, Baba, could you look at that chart for me, please?
Yeah, I'm looking at it. You got a double gap at about 158. That's where I think it's going now. You got light volume. So are you thinking about buying it there? You already own it?
No, thinking about buying it 158, I guess.
Yeah, see that double gap right there? The first gap down came down on September 20th, and then you gap back up on the 8th of October. And those gaps are almost penny for penny. That's telling you that's where the line in the sand is drawn. And, 159, 158-ish. You got nice light volume the last 3 days, even today. So we'll see what happens in the next couple of days. But, I don't see.
What about URA? It's uranium.
Yeah. I didn't get to talk about CCJ. I'll probably talk about it Monday.
URA.
Yeah, they had earnings this morning. CCJ did. Anyway, down a little bit. Got some decent volume. You're in a big.
Is in uranium. URA.
That's what I've got up.
Oh, the URA uranium.
Yeah, that's what I got up. I'm just saying CCJ had earnings this morning, which is the other big one, the really big stock. Okay, so they had earnings this morning. This is down a little bit. You're in big trading ranges here, and I think they're going to go for a while as you digest this big trading range, which is about $27 down to 20, right? So you're going to have a trading range for a while until they start buying some more uranium in China. Sell when you can, not when you have to. We'll see you here Monday. Same bat channel, same bat time.